Hi, I'm Hank Green, and you're watching St. Elmo's Fire.
Hello, St. Elmo's Fire. How are you? I am currently on my way to Chicago to go to a show. Hank Green is currently touring around the country for the Tour Because Awesome, and his first stop is actually going to be in Chicago, so I'm going to go watch him live. It's not just Hank though, it's Hank Green and the Perfect Strangers, Driftless Boating Club, and Harry Potters. Honestly, attending a Wizard Rock show is probably the nerdiest thing I have ever done, but I haven't tried it before, so YOLO? I thought this would be a good experience to meet Nerdfighters in real life, because, you know, as much fun as it is talking to your friends on the internet, it's just a different experience when you're actually face to face with someone and you're seeing those reactions and talking about stuff in real time. Anyway, I'm super stoked for tonight. I've got my Potter shirt on, I've got my VidCon bag with granola bars. I'm ready to go see Hank Green and Driftless Boating Club and Harry Potter. But beforehand, I'm going to do some sightseeing in Chicago, so come along with me. I arrived in Chicago with a few hours to kill before the show, so I headed to the Lincoln Park Zoo, where I saw many different animals and finally learned the answer to the question, who the F is Hank? Later that afternoon, I hopped on the Red Line to the Metro, where Hank's band was playing. It was still a couple hours before the show, so I headed across the street to Wrigleyville Dogs, where the Chicago Nerdfighters were hosting a meetup. So I met some Nerdfighters. We've got, hello, Kathy, Colleen, who I actually know from the internet, Nicole, and... After a quick meal, we hopped in line for the show. Once inside the Metro, I was surprised but thrilled to run into my friend Sarah, who had come to the show with Alex and Liz. We bought some beer because adulthood, and waited for the show to start. Opening the show was musical mastermind Andrew Huang, followed by the mad guitar skills of Rob Scallon, and then Harry and the Potters took the stage. To say the crowd was pumped would be an understatement. Driftless Pony Club took the stage next, and they kept the crowd bouncing with their indie rock-style music. Finally, Hank Green and the Perfect Strangers took the stage. 'Cause the universe is weird. Not only did they do their own nerdy songs, but they also covered Taylor Swift, and even the Ghostbusters theme. After the show, Kathy, Colleen, and I found a line forming outside to meet Hank, so of course we lined up. I snapped a few photos with him and somehow remembered to tell him how meaningful I found his involvement in this community. The next morning, I drove back to Wisconsin. While blasting T-Swift, I kept thinking about last night's events and how they totally differed from my experiences at the zoo earlier that day. At the zoo I was alone, which isn't something that bothers me. I don't mind being alone because that's not the same as being lonely. I spent a lot of time watching the animals who, even while being gawked at by hundreds of people, seemed lonely. It got me thinking about how sometimes we can feel lonely, even when we're in a crowd of people. As an introvert, my biggest fear in attending Hank's show was feeling lonely in a large crowd, even if that crowd was just as excited as I was to be singing about bat people. Thankfully, the night didn't go that way. I got to meet up with old friends and make new friends, people who were kind and generous and funny and interesting. Standing in the crowd with my friends and other Nerdfighters, I didn't feel lonely when rocking out to songs about anglerfish and Harry Potter. When I started making Thoughts from Places, yes, it was mostly an homage to the Vlogbrothers series. It started out as a series on chasing YouTubers and capturing them on camera. After spending years in this community, though, it's become less about the YouTubers and more about the people involved in this culture. People who, in real life, may be alone in their passion for nerdy things, but don't feel lonely when they're enjoying those nerdy things with other people who share that passion, whether they're in an online space like YouTube or in a crowded venue like the Metro. At the show, I didn't want to be like one of those people at the zoo, gawking at the animals while trying to capture everything on their phones. Doing that made me feel alone in a crowd of people who were clearly enjoying the moment. So I put down my camera, enjoyed the music with my friends, and together we yelled out silly lyrics like, "We are all bat people!" Because we were. In that moment, we were all crazy, funny, awesome bat people.